Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Green. We're doing another Read the Bible in 1 year, day 86, 1 Samuel 26 through 28. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell. That way you get updated whenever I post a new video. Like the video and also comment. Even if you say thank you, thumbs up, high five, smiley face, whatever you want to comment will really help with the algorithm. Remember, I'm dyslexic and I stutter, so sometimes if I see a big word, I get a little confused. Just bear with me, and here we go. 1 Samuel chapter 26. And the Ziphites came to Saul and Gibesh, saying, Do not David hide himself in the hill of Hilklan, which is before Jezmon? And Saul arose and went down to the wilderness of Ziph, having 3,000 chosen men of Israel with him, to seek David in the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul pitched in the hills of Hilklah, which is before Jezmon, by the way. But David abode in the wilderness, and he saw Saul came after him in the wilderness. David therefore sent out spies and understood that Saul was come in very deed. And David arose and came to the place where Saul had pitched. And David beheld the place where Saul lay, and Abner the son of Ner, the captain of his host. And Saul lay in the trench, and the people pitched round about him. Then answered David and said to Abimelech the Hittite, and to Abishai the son of Jerah, brother of Joab, saying, Who will go down with me to Saul to the camp? And Abishai said, I will go down with thee. So David and Abishai came to the people by night, and behold, Saul was sleeping within the trench, and his spear stuck in the ground as a bolster, but Abner and the people laid round about him. Then said Abishai to David, God had delivered thine enemy into thine hand this day. Now therefore let me smite him, I pray thee, with a spear, even to the earth at once, and I will not spite him the second time. And David said to Abishai, Destroy him not, for who can stretch forth his hand against the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? So David said furthermore, As the Lord liveth, the Lord shall smite him, or his day shall come to die, or he shall ascend into battle and perish. The Lord forbid that I should stretch forth my hand against the Lord's anointed. But I pray thee, take now thou the spear that is at his bolster, and the cruse of water, and let us go. So David took the spear and the cruse of water from Saul's bolster, and they got them away, and no man saw it, nor knew it, neither awakened, for they were all asleep, because a deep sleep from the Lord was fallen upon them. Then David went over to the other side, and stood on top of a hill afar off, a great space between them. And David cried to the people, and to Abner the son of Ner, saying, Answerest not thou, Abner? Then Abner answered and said, Who art thou that criest to the king? And David said to Abner, Art not thou valiant man? And who is like thee in Israel? Wherefore then hast thou not kept the Lord the king? For there came one of the people to destroy the king of thy Lord. This thing is not good that you hast done, and the Lord liveth, you are worthy to die, because you have not kept your master, the Lord's anointed. And now see where the king's spear is, at the cruse of water that was at his bolster. And Saul knew David's voice and said, Is that thy voice, my son David? And David said, It is my voice, O Lord the king. And he said, Wherefore does the Lord thus pursue after his servant? But what have I done, or what evil is in my hand? Now therefore I pray thee, let my lord the king hear the words of his servant. If the Lord hath stirred up against thee, let him accept his offering. But if they be the children of men, cursed be them before the Lord. If they have driven me out of this day from abiding in the inheritance of the Lord, saying, Go serve other gods. Now therefore let not my blood fall to the earth before the face of the Lord, for the king of Israel has come out to seek a flea, and when thou dost hunt a partridge in the mountains. Then said Saul, I have sinned, return my son David, for I will no more do thee harm, because my soul was precious in thine eyes to this day. Behold, I have played the fool, and I have erred exceedingly. And David answered and said, Behold the king's spear, and let one of the young men come over and fetch it. The Lord render to every man his righteousness and his faithfulness. For the Lord delivered thee into my hand today, but I will not stretch forth my hand against the Lord's anointed. And behold, as thy life was much set this day in mine eyes, so let my life be much set in the days of the Lord, and let him deliver me out of all the tribulation. And Saul said to David, Blessed be thou, my son David. Thou shalt both do great things, and also shalt thou prevail. So David went his way, and Saul returned to his place. 1 Samuel chapter 27. And David said in his heart, I shall not perish one day by the hands of Saul. There is nothing better for me than I shall speedily escape to the land of the Philistines. And Saul shall despise of me to seek any more any coast of Israel, so shall I escape out of his hands. And David arose and passed over with the 600 men that were with him into Achish, the son of Micah, the king of Gath. And David dwelt with Achish at Gath, he and his men, every man in his household, even David with his 2 wives, Adonami and Jezreelite, and Abigail the Carmelitess, Nabal's wife. And it was told Saul that David was fled to Gath, that he sought no more for him against him. And David said to Achish, if I have now found grace in thine eyes, let him give me a place in some town in the country, that I may dwell there. For why should thy servant dwell in the royal city with thee? And Achish gave him Ziklag that day, wherefore Ziklag pertaineth to the kings of Judah to this day. And the time that David dwelt in the country of the Philistines was a full year and 4 months. And David and his men went up to invade the Gishraelites, and the Gizraelites, and the Amalekites, for those nations were of old inhabitants of the land. Thou goest to Shur, even to the land of Egypt. And David smote the land, and left neither man nor woman alive, and took away the sheep, and the oxen, and the asses, and the camels, and the apparel, and returned and came to Achish. And Achish said, whether you have made a road today? And David said, against the south of Judah, and against the south of the Jeshmeelites, and against the south of the Kenites. And David saved neither men nor women alive, to bring tidings to Gath, saying, lest they should tell us, saying, so did David, and so be in his manner, and while he dwelleth in the country of the Philistines. And Achish believed David, saying, he has made his people Israel utterly to abhor him, therefore he shall be my servant forever. 1 Samuel chapter 28. And it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare, to fight against Israel. And Achish said to David, know thou assuredly that thou shalt go with me to battle, and thou shalt be men. And David said to Achish, surely thou shalt know that the servant can do. And Achish said to David, therefore I will make thee keeper of mine head forever. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel lamented him, and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Samuel had put away those that had familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. And the Philistines gathered themselves together, and came and pitched in Shumai, and Saul gathered in Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dream, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Then said Saul to his servants, seek me a woman that has familiar spirit, that I might go to her, and inquire of her. And his servants said unto him, behold, there is a woman that has a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself, and put on other raiment, and went, and 2 men with him. And they came to the woman by night, and she said, I pray thee, divine me until the familiar spirit, and bring him up, whom I shall name unto thee. And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest what Saul has done. Now he has cut off those that have familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare to my life, to cause me to die? And Saul swore by her, by the Lord, saying, as the Lord liveth, thou shalt no punishment happen to thee for this thing. Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up to thee? And he said, bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spoke to Saul, saying, why hast thou deceived me, for thou art Saul? And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what sawest thou? The woman said unto Saul, I saw God sending out of the earth. And he said unto her, what form of he of? And he said, an old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel. And he stooped with his face to the ground, and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, what hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God has departed from me, and answers me no more, neither my prophets nor my dreams. Therefore I call thee, what thou mayest know unto me that I shall do. Then said Samuel, wherefore dost thou ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee, and become thine enemy? And the Lord has done to him as he spoke to me, for the Lord has rent the kingdom out of thy hand, and given it to thy neighbor, even to David. Because thou obeyest not the voice of the Lord, nor executed the fierce wrath upon Amalek, therefore has the Lord done this thing unto thee day. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines, and tomorrow shall thy son be with me, and the Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel to the hands of the Philistines. When Saul fell straightway along the earth, it was sore afraid because of the words of Samuel, and there was no strength for him, for he had eaten no bread all the day, nor all the night. The woman called him to Saul, and saw that he was sore troubled, and said unto him, behold, thy handmaid has obeyed thy voice, and I have put my life in my hands, and I have hearkened unto the words which thou spokest unto me. Now therefore I pray thee, hearken thou also to the voice of thy handsmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before thee, and eat, and thou mayest get strength when thou goest on thy way. But he refused and said, I will not eat. But his servant together with the woman compelled him, and she hearkened to his voice. So he arose from the earth and sat upon the bed. The woman had a fat calf in the house, and she hastened and killed it, and took flour and kneaded it, and did bake unleavened bread thereof. And she brought it before Saul and before his servants, and they did eat, and then arose up and went away that night. Well, guys, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, like the video, and also comment. I'm going to put a couple links on the screen. The bottom right is going to be the Read the Bible in 1 Year study. The top left is going to be a playlist I think you're going to like. And the bottom left is going to be a video YouTube things you're going to like. If you know somebody that might benefit from the study, please share it with them. You can also share it on social media. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.